All you need is love, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our 128th Sunday gathering, our global community who has met at this hour all over the world for last 128 weeks. I'm Sandra Champlain. If you haven't met me yet, a warm welcome. I'm joined here by my good friends Kerry McLeod, Philip Dykes, and our special guest Autumn Cole. Our good friend Darren Wynn is celebrating his 43rd birthday, so we gave him the day off. Yes, we did. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Phil, who, we have some Beatles lovers in the house. We've seen it in the chat room. But turn it over to Phil to explain our theme today. And Mary Alice, yes, it will be epic.
Thank you so much, Sandra. And thank you guys for being so faithful and tuning in every week. It's without you, we can't do this. And it's because of your love, we love doing it, because we hope that we give you inspiration, we bring you comfort, we help you get through that week, because I know you certainly help each one of us by coming here with your feedback and how you join in that participation, especially with the songs. And as I know somebody's just commented, put my teeth back in, Philip, commented saying they love the Beatles and we're not old enough. That is correct, but we still love them because they were different. And all they did was, as you heard, all we need is a little bit of love. A little bit of love makes a huge, big difference in the world, whether it's your critters, whether it's your children, whether it's your mums, fathers, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, anybody or anything that brings you joy, and you give it love, then it loves you back. And that's why I picked today, because we all need that little bit of love as we go through life. So it's my pleasure to introduce the usual suspects, the team, as always, because we've got the lovely Sandra Champlain, who's going to be doing the reading and healing, and also the announcements a little bit later on. But also she brings that wonderful smile with her as well, that just is so infectious. And we've also got Autumn Cole, our special guest, that's going to be delivering our address for us. As Autumn alluded before, it might be a little bit about nature and what she loves as she swam across a lake and other things. Marvelous lady that we just inspires us. But also we have Kerry McLeod doing the mediumship. And it's always a pleasure. And I know I'm a little bit biased. I'm a husband. But I just love watching Kerry work in that real emotion, in that truth of the spirit world. Because for us, the Sunday gathering is can't get the words out.
Denominational.
That's the one. There's the physicality. That's the one I was waiting for. I can relax now and just be myself. But actually, because the love of that inspiration, bringing comfort, celebrating life is what the Sunday gathering's really about. We wanted something that was different. Just like those Beatles that really rocked the world, that inspired the world. As you see, when we think about some of the things we represent, England is the red buses. They were different. They had green buses. They wore red jackets. So you can see how they were different, but still in a way conformed. So it's an absolute pleasure to bring you the team and bring you this Sunday gathering. And I'm going to hand it over in a few moments to the team. But it's my job to open up in prayer. So if you can join me.
You're about to hand it to somebody else.
I was thinking, that's me done. Off we go. I can just relax out of the background. But there we go. It's my job to deliver that opening prayer for you. So if you can sit and just go quiet for a moment and think of your God, that source, or that creation of the universe, and think about your loved ones. Think about what makes you happy or what you love. And as we join together in prayer, just hold those thoughts dear in your heart. Great infinite Spirit, we join together under that banner of the Sunday gathering, that banner that brings us hope every week, that brings us inspiration. As it is a family, we can join together from all walks of life with non-judgment, that we accept each other as we should do. And as our theme is celebrating love within us, we ask for that love to unite us all in this very moment and unite that spirit world, that love of the summer land, heaven, whatever you want to call it, to join us this evening, this very day. We ask for that truth to be spoken, but we ask that we celebrate in this life, as we ask for that blessing upon everybody's head that is watching right now and that may watch the recording later in this week, as it's your love and our love combined that can change the world, as we can offer something different with a smile, with joy in our hearts, but also that truth within our eyes that we love what we do. And is that thought and that inspiration and that memory that all we need is love, is what we're leaving in your care and keeping. Amen.
Thank you very much, Phil. And ladies and gentlemen, don't we just love Phil? Even if he has his physicalities and doesn't have his teeth in, whatever that is, I tell you, one lesson in love is to be 100% yourself, and you are so completely lovable. So Phil asked me to do the reading today, and you're going to help me out with it just a little bit. I'll tell you in just a moment. Why? Well, because when I started looking up love in a perfect story to tell, I thought, there is no perfect story to tell because we each have our own experience of love. But what is love? You know, it really is a hard question to answer. I think we all know how it feels, right? Feels pretty darn good. And we also know, and I think this is what joins many of us today, is the more we love, the more it hurts when someone passes into the spirit world, and that's called grief. So grief can really show us our capacity to love. But what is love? So I grew up Catholic, and in the Bible, from 1 Corinthians, it says, love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it is not rude, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. And while all of that is true, it didn't quite give me the definition that I was looking for of what love is exactly. So I decided to look in the dictionary, and here's what it says. Love, a noun that means an intense feeling of deep affection. So then I looked up affection, and its meaning is a gentle feeling of fondness. So then I looked up fondness, and it said liking someone or something. So then I looked up liking, and it says it's a feeling of fondness. So it just went in one big circle. So even the dictionary cannot clearly define love. But we know what love feels like. It's the most powerful force in the universe. Love can move mountains, they say. But it really is the one emotion that we cannot describe in words, can we? So what I'd like to do is have you help me with the reading today and do a little experiment on love. Are you open to it? We may not be able to define love with our words, but we certainly can feel it. So I have a question for you, and we have the chat box open. Just us panelists can see your answers right now, so don't feel weird about typing anything in there. But my question for you is, when do you feel love? So you can write in absolutely as many answers as you want. Let me just make sure I've got everything on. It sure is. We're going to get some music going just for 2 minutes. And just think to yourself, when do you feel love? And us panelists can do this too. Absolutely. Here we go. A little music. Can you hear the music? Perfect. So Kip says, when I feel listened to. Melissa, when I'm in nature. When most of my needs are met, Carol says. Bobby says, when I hear my grandkids' voices. Oh, there are many coming in. I won't see your names, but when you can be with your kittens, watching this Zoom service, when I feel seen and heard. listening to beautiful music, when I'm accepted and not judged, no matter what my inconsistencies are. When I'm with my dog as he's loving his belly rubs. I feel love when I'm with my children. Knowing Spirit is here with us. When surprised by completely unexpected expressions of appreciation. When my grown kids say, "I love you, Mom." When I go on car rides to nowhere with my husband. When I help someone. Seeing a smile on a loved one's face when they see me. Working for Spirit. When I hear children singing. In the eyes of a newborn. Anytime, anywhere, just being out in nature. Beautiful, everyone. And keep writing if the Spirit moves you to do so. I have a question for you. Right now, together, do you feel love? I know I do. I've got a big smile inside and out. In fact, my mom always says when she's happy, her heart smiles. That's how I feel. So, although we couldn't put it into words exactly, we know the actions and the circumstances that make us feel love. And we can turn that love on in 2 minutes. That's all it took, ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes. We each have a reservoir of love that will never dry up. And the more we love, the more we feel love. So I'd like us to move into our healing segment with this grand feeling of love that we have. And you can keep on generating it through our healing song. But I want you to imagine that in your hands, you've got the whole world, and love the world, the people, the places, the critters, anything and everything. You hold the world in your hand. So with that is our healing song, Imagine.
Welcome, everyone. It's such an honor to be with you today. I'm Autumn Cole. I live in Ely, Minnesota, next to the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness, which is 1 million acres of forest, 2,000 lakes, and hundreds of portages, which are rocky, narrow trails between lakes that you carry your canoe and now your gear over. Now, I invite you to join us as I share our adventure and the spiritual lessons that we learned during a canoe trip 4 of us women took last year. We understood how we have choices at all times to live these spiritual truths as we walk the paths of life each day. So it all began as my 3 women friends and I, all in our 60s and 70s, ventured on this canoe trip into Slim Lake in the Boundary Waters. A view from our campsite is shown here in the background. Now, this wilderness has no self-service, no roads, no homes, and often we see no other people while we're out there. Would you enjoy that? Well, we do, and we did. And we were Betsy, a geeky naturalist, Kate, a grandma and carpenter, Maggie, an inspiring college professor, and me, an outdoor sports enthusiast, a social justice advocate, and a spiritual seeker. So, are you ready to hear our first spiritual lesson? It didn't take long. So the first day we portaged our canoes and gears, paddled to a remote campsite, and set up camp. Oh, by evening, we were just blissful in our new surroundings until it started pouring rain and it turned into a record-setting torrential rainstorm. So, huddled under a tarp by now, we eventually peeked out with our arms kind of wet from trying to hold up that rain-filled tarp. And just imagine what we thought when we saw that Maggie's tent was totally flooded and sitting in like 4 inches of water with most of her gear inside. We couldn't believe it. Now, Maggie had not been in the Boundary Waters before and had this big ancient tent. And oh yes, or oh no, we realized she had failed to zip up 2 zippers on the front door of her tent. So now what? No option to pack up, leave, and paddle out in the dark. No option to have Maggie join us in one of our single tiny tents we'd all gotten during COVID times. So how would you have handled this? Moan, groan, whine, get mad, become a victim of these circumstances? What did we do? Well, we chose laughter and positivity, which was our lesson number 1. Of course, we could have been irritated with Maggie for creating a bit of misery for us all. And it's no laughing matter to be wet in the wilderness when the temperature was near freezing. And we were all tired and cold and ready to cozy up in our warm, dry sleeping bags. But no, Maggie's forgetfulness caused some real discomfort for us all. But our lesson number 2 here, be empathetic and compassionate. We all make mistakes. Like when I stood up quickly in a canoe to look at a moose and in the water we went, packs and all, but that's another story. So not one word of anger or disappointment or frustration was expressed. How about you? Can you be kind to others when they make mistakes, even really dumb mistakes? No one's perfect. So on to an action plan for the super flooded tent and keeping all of us safe and warm for the night. Now, rescue teams would never come into the Boundary Waters in the dark in this situation, and it's very dark in the Boundary Waters. So we had to get to work. And as my spiritual mentors, Kerry and Phil, often say, do something hard every day. I'm sure my wonderful dad, Hal, now in the spirit world, was there whispering in my ear, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Thanks, Dad. And you, what do you do when things get hard? Give up? Procrastinate? Let someone else do it? We can learn so much when we challenge ourselves. So now our action plan did require that Maggie would need to accept help. We all knew she had no problem helping others. She'd been caretaking her brother with MS for years, but now she would have to receive our help, and she resisted. Oh, I'll be fine. I'll figure it out. Or one of her favorite quotes, it'll all work out. Is that you? How often do you resist help from others because you don't want to appear needy or weak or dependent in any way, or don't want to impose on others? So I told Maggie that receiving is the advanced course, and she was finally willing to accept help by getting all the dry items she needed. So lesson number 4, be willing to receive. Fortunately, we got a slight break in the weather with only a drizzle and realized we needed to work together quickly and efficiently to deal with this mess in the dark before the next downpour was probably coming. So off to get our headlamps and check our own zippers. Whew, all good there. Now, we are 4 strong women with much wilderness and outdoor experience, and we can all be leaders. But you know how that can go if there are too many cooks in the kitchen, as they say. So we all decided we would defer to Kate to be in charge. Now, Kate is very experienced in the woods, as she'd been on a 60-day canoe trip with 6 women in their 60s last summer. Pretty awesome, right? And they're still friends. Anyway, we emptied Maggie's tent of water and moved it and reset the tarp. And yes, there are many opinions on how to best tie up a tarp, but we let go of our own style and followed Kate's lead. What about you? Are you able to let go of being a leader and in charge when necessary? Can you accept a majority decision, even if you don't totally agree? Can you give up being right or having to do it your way? So there was lesson number 5. Be cooperative, adaptable, and let go of having to be in control. So alas, off to our tents we went. Oh, such joy we felt to be warm and cozy on that very cold and wet night. And as a certified happiness coach, I know one of the quickest ways to feel happy is to be grateful. And we were. In my tent, I reflected on the many simple joys of the day. Just being in nature with good friends, a delicious meal cooked over the campfire, carrying and paddling my lightweight Kevlar canoe, and especially those new pair of tall rubber boots I got that sure came in handy in that rain. And then there was that ever-present connection with spirit, really feeling that divine inner joy. So that was our lesson number 6. Be grateful for those simple joys. Are you really able to feel that joy, 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 joy down in your heart today? Be in gratitude and your joys will abound. I know many of you here are truly connected to the spirit world. So do you take time to express gratitude for this awareness? We are so blessed to be inspired by their love and healing they're so willing to give. So lesson number 7, be inspired by the spirit world and be inspiring. So as we attempted to get to sleep, a bit of our joy diminished as the wind and rain turned into a big thunderstorm. Like, really? Now we're supposed to get any sleep in that commotion? Now, we've been in numerous storms with plenty of thunder and lightning, and we know the drill. So now, can you envision us all in our little tents, kneeling or sitting on our life jackets or sleeping pads so not one part of our body is touching the ground? Yeah, that's lightning protection. After an hour of being in this oh so comfortable position, the storm moved on and we finally got some sleep. And by the next morning, it was sunny and warm and windy, perfect for drying out gear. So as we drank our morning coffee or tea, we enjoyed discussing our favorite Boundary Waters topic. What's the lightest gear for us senior women to carry around on these trips? Can you dehydrate, shampoo, and conditioner? Well, yes, you can. And is it worth it to measure up every bit of food so our food pack is light enough to hoist up by rope so the bears don't dine on it? And then the important question of the day, shall we pack up and go home after our excitement of the night before, or stay 4 more days as we planned? What would you have done? Can you guess what we said? Let's stay, absolutely, for sure, no doubt about it, you betcha. We stayed for the quietude, the joy, the beauty, and the connection to nature and each other, and to appreciate each moment we were out there, which led to lesson number 8. Practice mindfulness, being aware in the present moment. Now, these trips do provide us with a chance to be in this moment with no time clock, free of daily home chores, and it's the perfect place for self-reflection and just being. This included watching big beaver swim by, skinny dipping in that cool, pristine lake after a hot hike, and smelling that clean, fresh air, oh, so glorious. Now, perhaps not so glorious was losing a bag of yummy trail mix to a chipmunk when left unattended for like 1 minute. Gotta be mindful out there. Now, you might not have the Boundary Waters in your backyard like I do, but do you take the time to get out into the healing power of nature, to listen to the rustle of the trees or the wail of the loon? Nature can really prompt mindfulness and being in the moment, such as, well, listening to mosquitoes. Never underestimate the power of one tiny mosquito in your tent at night. I sure did. But it is the power of nature in all its forms. So despite a few setbacks, our group experienced true peace and letting go of earthly worries while being in the woods. And I was blessed with parents who loved the out of doors. And I can tell you, every single time someone has brought one of my parents through during an evidential mediumship reading, like every time, their love of the natural world was shared with me. Oh, I'm so grateful. So, of course, lesson number 9, be in nature. It's just the best. Hug those trees, swim in the lakes and rivers and ocean. Lay on your back and watch the clouds. Play in it. Immerse yourself in it. It's a true spiritual experience. Oh, the sublime energy of it all. Get out there. You can tell I'm a bit passionate about this. So the 4 of us older women did find that living in nature was the perfect environment to encourage closeness, openness, and sharing of our hopes and dreams, fears and concerns. We truly listened and supported one another, whether it was discussing our big challenges in life, such as the loss of a loved one, or the smaller challenges, such as a deflated sleeping pad that Betsy experienced during the night. No fun. And even when we had different views on things, and we did, of course, we practiced listening to each other. So, lesson number 10, be a good listener. Like, really listen. How are your listening skills? Can you listen without interrupting, without preparing your next thought, even when you don't see eye to eye? We realized how important it was to listen and be non-judgmental, or even give advice. And for me, I found it was the perfect place to be an ambassador for the spirit world, as my friends were curious about my spiritual studies, and they did listen. Are you comfortable being an ambassador for the spirit world when the opportunity presents itself? We do so need their love to be spread around in this world. Finally, we arrived at the last day of our canoe trip, and yippee, no rain. So we packed up our 6 portage packs, our 2 canoes, and started paddling toward the landing. Was our adventure soon over? Not if you hopped in our canoe with us and saw we had some major headwind and whitecaps on this big lake to paddle through. Now, we were glad we all had our life jackets on, as we always did. And Kate and I, the strongest paddlers, were in the back seats to steer the canoe. And just as in life, it helps to keep paddling and moving forward when things get tough. And yay, we did not capsize. So when we got to our final landing, we senior women, we felt tough and strong and happy. It was hard for us to leave this gorgeous place, but we felt re-energized and left with such positive feelings we knew we'd carry with us for quite some time. We had fun and we're grateful for a safe and successful trip. Do you think living by these spiritual lessons made our trip more successful? We did. And when I think about success, I do think about my amazing mom, Phyllis, who wrote this poem about success, which reminds us of some of the spiritual truths we live by on our canoe trip and more. Her words are worth pondering. Success is in the way you walk the paths of life each day. It's in the little things you do and in the things you say. Success is not in getting rich or rising high to fame. It's not alone in winning goals that most folks hope to claim. Success is being big of heart and clean and broad of mind. It's being faithful to your friends and to your neighbors kind. It's in the children whom you love and all they learn from you. Success depends on character and everything you do. So how do you walk the paths of life each day? How did we walk the paths of life each day while we were in the boundary waters with each other or with ourselves? We experienced so many important lessons that I hope to continue to follow, however challenging they are at times. Perhaps you might remember some of these spiritual lessons as well, which I leave with you today. Choose laughter and positivity whenever you can. Be empathetic and compassionate. Do something hard every day. Be willing to receive. Remember, receiving is the advanced course. Be cooperative, adaptable, and let go of having to be in control. Be grateful for those simple joys in life. Be inspired by the spirit world and be inspiring. Practice mindfulness and being aware in the present moment. Be in nature. Oh, it's just the best. Be a good listener and be non-judgmental. And then ever so important, please remember to zip up your tent door in a torrential rainstorm. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share my story with you today.
Oh, Autumn, thank you so much. My cheeks hurt a little bit from smiling just now. Everyone, press your raise hand button or just clap silently if you'd like, or loud, whatever. Thank you so much. Hands are being raised all over the place. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you picked up on this, but the beingness of Autumn is joy, fully self-expressed, love, passion. And you know, when I think of a little child seeing life for the first time and being excited, Autumn, that's who you just were. I want to remind everyone, the link you use to sign in today becomes your replay link. So if you want to ever watch this again and get all those golden nuggets from Autumn, I encourage you to do that. Autumn, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I know Kerry and Phil will say the same. Just wonderful, wonderful. Oh, we love smiles, don't we? Yes, we absolutely do. And with that, you mentioned the spirit world. This is a part of our Sunday gathering where I would say we get to join the two worlds, but they're always a part of our world and we're always a part of theirs. It's just that we don't feel it. So during our Sunday gathering, it's just an opportunity to let some folks in the spirit world who are ambassadors for everyone in the spirit world say, we are right here with you. We're not just here with you on Sundays. We're not just here with you if you go see a medium. We are part of your life and you are part of ours. It's not so easy for them to communicate with us. I don't know what kind of hoops and loops they have to go through to do that, but thankfully we have some people that have given their life for training and being ambassadors to speak with the words of the spirit world to us. So Kerry and Phil are normally our mediums, and today Kerry is our medium who will be working. She's also a tutor. Kerry and Phil both run the Spirit and Soul Foundation. You can find them at mymediumship.com. They run all of our online classes and they're wonderful. So how this next part works, Kerry will be our demonstrating medium. And like I said, we have thousands of people in the spirit world that are with us right now. There'll be normally a handful of them that get to come through on the Sunday gathering to share their love. And it's always a good experience for us all to be on the edge of our seat and listen to those words, because so many of the messages, my goodness, they apply to my life as well. So there's a little method to their madness, so to speak. A spirit person will come to Kerry. She doesn't put in requests, they come to her, and using her thoughts and memories and feelings and maybe words and her imagination, they will present themselves to her. Now, what she'll do is you'll see her give a few initial bits of information about the spirit person that is with her. So we want everybody to listen in, whether this is your first time with us or if you've been with us since the beginning, but listen in like this is your first time here. You are amongst friends. You really are. So don't feel shy to raise your hand. But after she gives those initial few bits of information about the person who's in contact with her, if you can recognize 100% of that information as, I know that person. Now they no longer walk this earth, but they could be a friend, a family member. Sometimes it's someone rather distant, but you know them. You know just who it is she's talking about. So when you feel that recognition, we want you to press your raise hand button. Now I know some of you just pressed your raise hand button to give a applause to Autumn, but if you want to find that raise hand button one more time and press it, just see how it works. I know we've been sitting for a long time. It's a good opportunity to, burn half a calorie by pressing that button. Wonderful. And then it should say lower hand. So you want to press lower the hand, take your hand down. Wonderful. Very good, very good. If you are the person who works with Kerry, your job is easy. You just need to say one of three things. Let her do the work so that we all know that she's communicating with this person in the spirit world. And we just want you to say yes, no, or I don't know. So yes, you can recognize the information. No, that doesn't make any sense to me. Or I don't know. Maybe they did that. I don't know. So pretty easy. I know we're all excited. And usually on every Sunday gathering, we get somebody who volunteers a little too much. But we're excited. We're excited that our loved one is here. But try to reel that back and just say yes, no, or I don't know. So these folks are coming on behalf of the spirit world to let everybody know that they are with us, that they love us, that they are a very active part of our lives. And yes, that moment that we will cross that bridge to the unseen world, also known as closing our eyes for the last time, opening them up, and they're all there, that it's very real and their love is very, very real. So what we like to do is play one song before we go into our demonstration, and it's quite a peppy song with a little dancing from Rita Hayworth and Fred Astaire. Yes, yes. And if you want to just close your eyes or not, and just feel the love. Keep that love going, by the way, all you wonderful people putting your love in the chat box. But feel that love, because the love from Spirit is very real, and they are with us. So let's play our video, shall we? Well, I was dancing in my seat. I don't know about you. Hi, Kerry.
Most definitely dancing in my seat. It is one of my favorite songs to start a demo to. So when Phil said the theme was All You Need Is Love, well, that was, once you played All You Need Is Love from the Beatles, there's only one other song for me. But I have to say, first of all, thank you to Phil for choosing such an excellent theme. And it has been an absolute delight to hear you speak, Sandra, about the meaning of love. And a beautiful address, Autumn. I know that you have that way about you that you express when you speak, but to hear you talk about your story and to hear you share in such an eloquent way just how we approach struggles, it might give people a thing to think about next time they come upon their own struggle. So thank you very much, Autumn, much appreciated and very much needed, I'm sure, for a lot of people who are on here. And talking about you, as in you that's joined us, whether you're here for the first time, and I know that some people are, or whether you're here for, is it 229 times?
120.
128.
128 times. It will be 229.
It will be one day.
But whether you've been here, this is your first time, or whether you have been here every single week, there's nothing that ever replaces you being touched by the spirit world. And Autumn, is one of her life lessons there, spoke about being inspired by the spirit world and being inspiring. And you can be inspired by the spirit world when you allow a medium to work for the spirit world on behalf of you. If it weren't for you, we would have nobody to connect. So thank you for being here. And when Phil or I or another medium works, it is our absolute pleasure to be able to do it. We never take this for granted. We never take the spirit world for granted. We couldn't possibly know who's going to come through today. So if you understand anything that I've said, raise your hand, even if you're thinking, couldn't possibly be my loved one or my friend, or I'm nervous about going on there. As you saw at the beginning, nobody's camera comes on. We only need your voice. So with that, are you ready for me to start? Yeah, good, good, good. Okay. I do know as I begin to work here that I have mum, and I know that I'm stateside, so I must be in North America or in Canada. And I know that as I begin to work with mum, I know her personality. I know that we saw Fred Astaire dancing there, but I know that mum loved dancing. I also have the sense with mum that there would have been an illness that took her into a wheelchair towards the end of her life. I know that with that wheelchair, you would remember moving. She is a funny lady, a beautifully funny lady. You would remember moving her about in the wheelchair in almost a dance motion towards the end of her life, because I know that Mum comes with this memory of moving to the music. But I also know with Mum that there would be a love of the black and white dance movies with people like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers in there. Does that make sense to somebody in our audience?
Thank you, Kerry. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time to look inside your memory bank in your heart. And if you can understand this information, please press your raise hand button. Okay, so far we have 2 people with their hands raised, Kerry.
Okay. And both people, just to check in, keep your hands up if you definitely understand Mum being in the wheelchair and moving her almost in a fun way, trying to make her giggle or trying to make her laugh.
All right, 1 hand went down. We have Connie and Lisa with their hands raised.
No. Who had their hand up originally?
It'll be Connie.
Can I speak to Connie, please?
Yes, Connie.
Hang on, Lisa, we'll just see.
Hi, Connie.
Hi. Hi. Can you hear me?
We can.
I
We can.
hear
Oh,
you.
good.
Hear you.
Hi. So I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. My first time.
Your first time. Lovely. Welcome. So you understand everything I've said, Connie?
Everything. Everything.
Okay, and you understand your mum having this beautiful love of the music and the musicals, and certainly Fred Astaire.
Yes, my mother loved to dance, and I understand that. Yeah, and
Okay, when your mum was in her wheelchair, though, I know that she would have taken some time before she had to take to the wheelchair. She would have done everything in the months before to avoid having to get into that chair.
absolutely.
Because I know I've got my dancing feet on. In fact, your mum must have had specific pairs of shoes for dancing in.
That I don't know. I'm not sure of.
Then
That could
let me work with that for you. She must have had a pair of shoes that would have been a bit more, a bit less comfortable. And then she would have her comfortable shoes.
Yes.
Because I know the less comfortable shoes comes from her wanting to have a little heel on for dancing in.
Perhaps that's correct.
Okay,
Not 100% sure.
okay, let me work with it for you. I know your mum gives me this incredible love of dancing and this credible zest, because I know your mum, although everybody did, I know your mum would have loved Autumn's address as well, if she was still physically here to say.
Yes.
Because that's your mum's mindset, is that look for the positives, look for the uplifting. I know too with your mum that when she got older in those years and had to move to the chair, you must have been the one who listened to your mum.
Absolutely.
Because when everybody else was saying she needs to be off her feet, she needs to be having a walker, she needs to be having a chair, you were, Mum doesn't need it yet. She says she doesn't need it. You understand that, Connie?
Yes.
Because I get, when Autumn was speaking there, I know your mum brings to my mind that statement of listening. So your mum is ever so grateful that you listened to her. But I need to say, after your mum passed, there must have been moments where you spoke for your mum in a way that you knew represented her 100%.
Absolutely.
Even though it didn't win you very many friends. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Because I know your mum is thanking you for doing that, but asking you not to be upset at the fact that people fell out over it. It's It's not worth it, but thank you for doing it. Your mum must have been quite an advocate for people within the family.
She, yes, I think she was.
Because I know that if there was somebody in the family who didn't feel able to speak up for themselves, your mum would have helped them gain the confidence to do that.
Yes.
But I know too that your mum would have listened to you, Connie. So there would have been a time in your life that you really needed your mum's ear and her support.
Yes.
And I know she brings that to memory, because I also know your mum had that non-judgment. It's almost like your mum's walking through Autumn's address and reminding you of the different ways that your mum was. But I also need to say, Connie, that with your mum, she could be very, very strong-minded.
Oh, yeah.
To the point that she might have lost the approval of people around about her.
Yes.
And I know she would have not been shy from having, from speaking her truth.
Whether it was a truth that people wanted to hear or not, yes.
Correct. But I know she wouldn't have been adverse to speaking her truth. And I know this whole aspect of being true to oneself, one's values, one's ethics, about just because you have to be this nice person, which your mum was, it didn't stop her speaking her own mind. And I know with you, Connie, the reason your mum brings this in is because she needs you to know that it's okay for you to speak your truth. And at this particular time, that must mean something to you for coming from your mum.
Yes.
And I know your mum would have also delivered your mum could sing as well.
Yeah, she liked to sing.
Because I hear her singing, "A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down." So I know the way you deliver your honest opinion, if you make it a little bit sweet, it will go down a tad easier with people. And Connie, your mum would have had a son, you would have a brother.
Yes.
And you know where your mum wants to talk about sweetening that medicine a bit in that direction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know your mum is adding a big cube of sugar in there because that's what mums do. Mums love their children, but I know she needs you to appreciate she's with you. She sees you. She sees your patience. She needs you to know she's very close with you. Keep dancing in the rain. That was your mum's, one of her films, Dancing in the Rain.
Yes.
Singing in the rain, singing. She's just great. Singing in the rain.
Yes. We watched that show.
Please know this is your mum's way of saying, I see you, I'm with you, I hear you, I'm listening, I support you.
Thank you.
Keep singing in the rain.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us, Connie. It's an absolute pleasure to be able to do that for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm sorry about that. Thank you so much, Connie and Kerry and Mom. See, guys, they're with us.
It's such a lovely way when the lovely lady brings everything in that Autumn's spoken about and that we've got as our theme. It's really lovely to see the intelligence of the spirit world doing that. I need to say now that I feel that I have a younger lady coming in now. When I say younger, I do feel she wouldn't have got I feel like there is, oh, okay. I feel that I've got a younger lady here and I do feel that she would have passed very, very quickly. I feel that she would have passed by drowning. And I get the sense from her that there's a great excitement with her and a great personality there, but I need to say with her that this drowning was not her fault. And I do not feel she got to more mature years like Autumn and her friends refer to themselves in that way. I don't feel this lady got to that age, but I do feel that she drowned, and it would be in a body of water that was fairly substantial. I don't feel that this is a small body of water.
Thank you, Kerry. All right, friends, who recognizes this individual? Press your raise hand button. All right, we have Christina, Kerry, with her hand raised. Christina, could you unmute yourself? Hi, Christina.
Hello.
Welcome. Hi, Christina. Is this Christina from Canada?
Yes, yes.
It is. Okay. So I just need to say that I know you, but I actually don't think I've ever given you a contact before.
That's correct.
Okay. But this lady in the spirit world that passed by drowning, you would know quite well.
Correct.
Okay, because I feel this excitement at getting to speak to you. I feel this excitement, and this would be part of her personality, being very eager and to have that burst of life about them.
Yes.
Now, I know her passing was very quick and very unexpected, but I also need to say there would have been other people around about her at this time.
Yes.
And I know that the other people around about there. Christina, would you know you were with her at the time of her passing?
No.
Then you must know people that were.
Yes.
Okay, because I know she gives me this insight that there would be people that were with her when she passed that felt like they should have or could have done more.
Yes.
But I also know that they did everything they could.
Yes.
Doesn't take away that feeling. It's an awful position to be in, I would imagine. But it does. But I know she comes with this feeling of nothing else could have happened. But I would say there would be a number of different boats involved.
Yes.
That created the circumstance.
I think so.
Because I know there's this, my mind's gone complete of the wake. I know there seems to be the wakes of boats created here that she gets into difficulty with.
Yes.
Okay. But her lust for life was such that and you would have gone to her funeral, Christina.
Yes.
Because I know during her funeral service, there would have been this talk of her lust for life and her being able to share this incredible passion for life.
Yes.
And I know that this incredible passion for life is how people remember her. And at her funeral, Christina, there would have been a photograph of her on the coffin or near the coffin.
I don't remember. Yes, I think so, but I'm not sure 100%, but I can imagine it was, yes.
Okay, then, and in the coffin, you would know that her family placed individual items with her.
Yes.
And would you know what, don't tell me, but would you know what any of those items were?
I don't.
Okay, because I feel that there would have been very specific and meaningful flowers placed in the coffin with her. I want to say as well, Christina, that her overwhelming joy at being able to communicate to you is such that I just want to burst. I feel like I've got Autumn's zest for life inside of me.
Yes,
this was her way of life.
I understand.
Whenever your friend walked into a room, there would have been this happening. Now, you must have also been at an event or a house party with her.
Yes.
There.
Yes.
Because in this house, you would know that she would, by her own admission, swan around this house party, bringing
Yes.
joy to everybody. But I also know she would have this, you would remember her having this glass of champagne, and when it came to the end of the night, the same glass full was there.
Yes.
Because I know she had it there to be able to share the evening, but I don't feel that she would have enjoyed the effects of alcohol.
Correct.
And you would understand that as well, that you and her had this similar appreciation.
Yes.
Please know that she's holding this glass of champagne up for you, Christina. I know that that lust for life and that zest and that joy is what she wants to bring you. But I also want to say that she is giving you the cheers. She's bringing your flute of champagne and hers together because she knows that you have just in the last 24 hours made a mindset and a decision for better.
Yes, thank you very much, Kerry. I know she
spirit,
always picks me up, always.
She is giving you that ching ching and best foot forward. And it's her way of saying on behalf of everybody else in the spirit world, they see what you're doing, and to keep doing what you're doing, you are making a difference.
Thank you, I needed to hear that.
So take those bubbles.
Yes.
Put it on show, you don't need to sip it, but take the bubbles and just do what you do naturally, Christina. I'm going to say thank you for allowing me to do that.
Thank you very much, Kerry. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Kerry. And to your friend as well. Beautiful.
And with the champagne, I do believe I have husband. I do believe that husband would have regularly bought a bottle of champagne or Prosecco, Cava. But I do feel if it is a Cava or a Prosecco, it would be not an inexpensive one. And I feel that husband and I must be reaching out to wife, would have taken quite an extravagant holiday before he passed.
All right, thank you very much. There were some hands raised that when you said husband. So if you were one of those people, I lowered your hand. So if you can understand this information, just check, make sure your hand is raised, that I didn't accidentally put it down. So who can understand this information?
So if this extravagant holiday needs to have happened just before husband passes, but I need to say he would often buy you a bottle of, I feel like it's champagne.
All right, well, Lisa has her hand raised.
Hi, Sandra. Hi, Kerry.
Hi, Lisa. If this is your husband, Lisa, would you understand going on an extravagant holiday just before he passed?
Yes.
And you would have sipped the champagne?
Yes.
But and would you understand going on a cruise with him just before he passed?
Not just before, but we did go on a cruise.
I do feel I'm on a cruise, and I feel that this is the extravagant holiday. Just let's hold this for a moment, Lisa, and see if one of our audience who might be a bit shy about putting up their hand
Okay.
can understand this.
I try to wait and not raise my hand to give everybody an opportunity, but it gets so exciting when I hear things that match. I have my whole family in the spirit world, so that's why.
I understand that, Lisa.
No problem at all. We have Carol here. Carol, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, Carol. So you understand husband in the spirit world, and you would have taken quite an extravagant holiday as a cruise before he passed.
Yes, we went on a very extravagant holiday before he passed, but there was no cruise on that holiday, but there was a cruise before.
if that's the case then, Carol, because I know I now have two of you, would your husband have indulged with champagne and have treated you like a queen?
I'll give up a little information. On the cruise, we were chosen to stand on a ladder and pour champagne over.
Okay. And it would have been one of those towers
Yes.
of, oh goodness,
Yes.
I should have just said that. I thought it was way too far out there to actually see. So pretend we've just started, Carol. I'm looking for somebody whose husband is in the spirit world and who'd have a memory of pouring champagne over one of those towers of champagne glasses. Thanks, Carol. Because that is exactly what I saw. It just shows we really shouldn't question what your loved ones give us in the spirit world. But I need to say, Carol, that your husband would have not wanted to be the center of attention.
That's right.
Because I
He
know
would want me to be the center of attention.
I do know that, because I know as he shows me this, he would have loved seeing you getting joy out of this.
Yes.
He would have absolutely adored you. Every husband does. I know mine does, and I know yours does. Adores you. But I
Yes.
know that he would do the extra little things that nobody ever knew about or would ever see just for you.
Yes.
On one holiday, Carol, your husband must have gotten a specific excursion or a trip where you and him had a moment on a beach that he set up.
We had many moments on a beach.
Okay.
So.
And I need to say this would be at sunset.
Yes.
Because I know he's gone out of his way to organize this moment for you.
Yes.
He's just gone completely left field. He must have also had a very peculiar, not peculiar, he doesn't think it is, particular way of ironing his trousers, his pants.
And Kerry, I know you will know this. We purchased a Corey pants presser when we were in the British Isles.
Okay, but then he must have continued to, he showed me his pants getting pressed in a certain way. So you must have always done this a certain way for him.
Yes.
Because I know as he adored you, I know he's wanting to acknowledge you going out of your way to look after him.
Yes.
I also need to say, Carol, that with your husband, you would have cooked some of his favorite meals as he got less and less well.
Yes.
So I know he wants to thank you for all of that care and attention and all of the little things that you did for him that you didn't think twice about. And I need to say too, when your husband got to the point where he couldn't speak to you and at the end he wasn't able to speak to you, you would understand that.
Yes.
You continued to insist that he was treated as if he could hear everything.
Yes.
Because I know it matters to him, Carol, that because he did hear everything, because you knew from the spirit world whether he was darting between the two worlds or whether he was there present or whether he was in the spirit world, you knew he could hear it and you insisted on his behalf because it's part of respecting one another and he adores you for it.
Yes.
He needs you to know that he knows about this. He also needs, he adored you, but he had the perfect way of being able to say the right things to the lady nurses.
Yes.
Because I know he is so flattering about and going out of his way to make sure that everybody felt special. And I know there would have been particular nurses, only a few, that would have spoken to you about his care and would have spoken to you particularly about his care. And he's ever so grateful that you and those nurses had that conversation.
Yes.
He needs you to know that even from his room, he could hear you whispering. And I know that's his sense of humor.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I need to say he is bringing in, he would bring you roses, Carol.
Yes.
And he wouldn't be the one to, I know he bought you roses. I know my husband's bought me 12 red roses once. And I get the sense that your husband's the same.
Every time he went into New York City, he'd bring me roses.
But I know that each time there was something different about the roses he brought you, though.
Yes.
Because he's not run-of-the-mill 12 red roses, they'll do. I know there's something very particular about those roses. But I need to say that as he brings them to you, right now would be, please be right here, you would know your anniversary would be very, very soon, either just before or just after now.
Kerry, I want to hug and kiss you. I was waiting for you to know tomorrow is our wedding
Okay,
anniversary.
because my mouth is he's pouring a whole bunch of champagne for you, and he's got one rose in his mouth for you.
Kerry, I want you to know that that champagne pyramid was on the cruise that we took for our 25th wedding anniversary.
Okay, please know that he doesn't need all of that, and he doesn't need the 12 red roses, but he is serenading you with this red rose. I'm going to leave all the champagne in the world, all the red roses, but most of all, I'm going to leave your husband's love with you. He needs you to know that he will be there tomorrow. Do dance, do sing, and do talk to him. He hasn't gone far. He will be there. It's a date.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Carol.
Kerry, thank you. Thank you so much. I love you. You are wonderful. I wish I was there to give you a big hug and a kiss. Thank you.
Me too. The time will come. Me too. Thank you, Carol. And it's my absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Kerry.
Okay. I do feel I have somebody's wife here. Not to go. We've got the husband. I do know that I have somebody's wife here. If it isn't wife, it would be probably easier for me to say life partner. So I know I have a lady here, and even if you weren't married, I know you were together a long time. I know there is a very good understanding of food, of ingredients, of cooking. I do feel like it's a pasta dish. Everybody loves a bit of pasta, but I know that this somebody's wife would have had a very particular pasta dish and would have cooked multiple dishes and have frozen them. And I do feel that somebody here would have had this dish in the freezer and have eaten it after their wife passed, or their female partner, life partner.
Thank you very much, Kerry. All right, my friends, who understands this information? Please press your raise hand button.
We've got some shy people or people that aren't too sure, have we?
I think so.
Okay, so if there's nobody coming, if there's nobody understanding that, then let me put it a different way. I can't change too much here, but would a lady here understand husband in the spirit world, but husband's favorite dish would have been this pasta dish that you cooked and that you would have frozen and that you'd have it all in the freezer. But I do know after this passing, there's this meal still in the freezer, because I know you almost couldn't bring yourself to eat it, or you didn't eat it.
Yes, we have Katie with her hand raised. Hi, Katie.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, Katie. So you understand everything I've said and its husband in the spirit world?
Yes.
Okay. Forgive me for getting that wrong for you in the first place, but you would know that I'd love to eat your pasta because your husband is smacking his lips here. So you would know you cooked this favorite pasta dish.
We would cook it together.
Okay, but there must have been some in the freezer after he passed.
Yes, it's still there.
It's still there because I know he's smacking his lips at this. I've had champagne, I've had pasta dish now. I need to say as well, Katie, that some of the ingredients, I know you're saying it's still in the freezer, but some of the ingredients you still have. Oh, okay. And it wouldn't be right without the Parmesan cheese either.
Yes.
Because Parmesan cheese smells a little bit funny, you know, but it adds to a dish. And I know your husband would have enjoyed that. Now, with your husband, you would have gone to restaurants. And when this pasta dish was on the menu, your husband wouldn't eat it because it wasn't as good as what you guys made.
Yes.
And I know when you used to eat out, but I know your husband would have had this real value set about traditional food. And Katie, would you understand your husband coming from an Italian family?
No.
No. Okay, then he really enjoyed traditional food.
Yes.
And I know that he had this traditional way of being, because I know his value set and his morals and his etiquette. And I know he would have spoken to you about how you and him must have had a very specific conversation about the changing values in society in general.
Yes.
And I know he would have not understood. Okay. I'm just trying to see how to word this. Within your family, you would have had people that weren't treated the best by their partners, not you. But I know that within your family, this would have been experienced.
Yes.
Because I know your husband is of the opinion, or he doesn't know how that could be, because he absolutely adored you and he absolutely wouldn't have saw a hair on your head not being looked after. But I know he had a very strong opinion about people who didn't love their loved ones with all of their being.
Yes.
And I know that you have a similar opinion. You would know why your husband's bringing this through right now, Katie.
Yes.
Okay, it's his way of saying he sees what's going on. He's right there with you in terms of value set, but more than that, he's with you as you work your way as a family unit or as a friend or a community. He's there as you work your way through this. Please don't feel that you are alone, Katie. He needs you to know that he's absolutely there. He loves you as much as he ever did, if not even more, because he gives me this impression of being able to see all of you, including your light. You and him must have had conversations about the life after death.
A little.
Because I know that he needs you to know he sees exactly, and he needs you to share with you. We are known by our light. And Katie, according to your husband, your light shines bright. Do not let anybody else dim your light. And I have to say, he is absolutely there with you in every way possible. Please don't feel like he's not. And please speak to him. You and him used to go, you would just be cooking and walking and talk.
Yes.
Don't stop. Just because he's there, don't stop. When you feel that you can almost hear what he's saying, Don't think it's your imagination. He's far stronger than that. He is getting through to you. Please know that's his way of letting you know he's there. And please know that he is absolutely sending you a little. He's not sprinkling Parmesan cheese on top of you, you'll be pleased to know, but he is bringing that love and that light to you, Katie, because right now you could do with a little bit more of it.
Thank you very much.
Please know it's my absolute pleasure. Katie, your birthday must be very close.
It's our daughter's birthday today.
Because I can hear him singing happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.
Oh gosh.
So thank you for allowing me to do that, Katie. Please know your husband and your daughter's dad is not too far away. In fact, he's with you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Katie. Sandra, it has once again, on behalf of all of our people in our audience and Autumn and Phil, it's been my pleasure to be able to serve the spirit world. This is what it's about. It comes from the center of any medium's being to be able to connect with your loved ones in a way that fulfills us. So thank you, everybody, for allowing me to do that.
Oh, thank you so much, Kerry. And again, ladies and gentlemen, press your raise hand button. We'll give Kerry a big standing ovation. I know Kerry will give the credit to the spirit world, but she's trained many years, and she has given her life, as has Phil, to let you know that your loved ones are still around. You know, it is said by so many that where they are is a land so much more real than what we're experiencing right now. We are part of their world, and they are very, very real. If you like our medium demonstrations, we're doing a free student demonstration coming up on Friday. Kerry and Phil run a year-long progressive group, and if you are available, half hour from where we are right now, but it's next Friday, you're welcome to join us. WeDon'tDie.com, go to the store button, you'll get the link, and it is free. Spaces are limited, so sign up right away if you want to join for that. And speaking of medium demonstrations, we all want to know that our loved ones are around, don't we? Yes, I know we do. One of the things that takes you from a hope and a faith to a knowing is when you actually are in a breakout room, in a class or in person, and from your own words, your own mind, what you think is your imagination, you are giving somebody correct information about their loved one or about their life. I know I sound like a broken record always saying, come join our classes, but this can take you from that hope to knowing that there is so much more to you. All good things are starting this coming week. And I just want to first share what's happening with Kerry and Phil. On Tuesday, they have a brand new class open for all called Unlocking Your Soul. So whether you've been a long-time student or this is your first time with us, you are a divine soul. You're here having a human experience, but there is so much more that you can experience. You can experience a bit of that divinity. That's on Tuesdays. Wednesday is psychic development. It is the first step in mediumship, where you learn to work with another person who's alive, who can give you that confirmation. Yes, they can understand the information. So we ask that you get a little practice in your psychic abilities. And Thursday, we have mediumship. Okay, medium development. Each one of our classes, 2 hours long, 4 sessions over the course of 4 weeks. They are all recorded. You can join us live, or you can join us by watching the replay and then do the practices with someone in our Facebook group. Scott Milligan is also our at-home tutor, and he is a longtime trance and physical medium. And on Mondays, tomorrow actually, we have a class called Trance and the Altered States. You don't have to want to be a trance medium. It's a beautiful opportunity to learn to slow down, quiet your mind, and blend with that love from the unseen world. On Tuesdays, before Kerry and Phil's class, he does a Sitting in the Power Hour, which is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to slow down, recharge. Kerry and Phil talk about that and teach you that in their classes as well. On Friday, just before the demonstration of mediumship by the students, Scott and I are together for what's called In the Arms of Eternity. an opportunity to sit and offer healing. And then also it's followed by a trance mediumship demonstration where we always have one heck of an extraordinary conversation with a friend from the unseen world. So that's what's coming up this week. It's not too soon to sign up for our Sunday gathering either. Everything can be found at wedon'tdie.com. Click on the store page. Everything's got a money back guarantee. We are all about customer service in this family. And with that, that's it for the announcements. I'm going to turn it over to our host with the most, Phil, who created such a wonderful Sunday gathering.
Thank you, Sandra, for those announcements. But I need to be really honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I had something I was prepared to speak about, but I've just literally thrown it out and thought, you know what? I'm in that moment of love. I'm feeling that love. And I know you were all charmed by the Power of Three, and I'm referring to a TV program because we had Sandra, we had Autumn, we had Kerry, and the three of them together delivered what I call a spiritual service, a service that inspires you, that we can relate to. So I want to thank Autumn for those wonderful words that you shared of those stories. Sandra, for what you did talking about love and how you invited people to come forward and share how they feel love. Because I think when we all read them, and I could tell in your voice, we got emotional. We felt your love too. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can really serve each other really well by sharing our love, not hiding it away, not being quiet, but actually sharing what we enjoy. Because as Autumn spoke about those challenges in nature, let's refer to them as challenges in life. We've all got those people that have done it, that have got that ego, that have got something going on in their life. I wonder if we gave them a little bit of love, we'd see them differently. The interaction will be differently. Those issues where we might struggle, if we give it love, will we see it a different way? So, ladies and gentlemen, we've had 128 services with themes, and the theme today is All You Need Is Love. Well, for the first time in 128 weeks, I'm going to do something that's never been done before. I'm going to change the theme and say, all you need is an Autumn call, a happiness coach. Because I don't know about you, I can listen to Autumn forever. Not just for a minute, but forever. And Autumn, I've got to be honest, it didn't matter what you said. It's just your enthusiasm, your positivity. You taught me in that moment that we can do anything if we believe in what we're doing, if we see the good in what we're doing. And if we don't listen to everybody else out there that might put us off or plant that seed of doubt, we may achieve magnificent things. And I'm just thinking, as we all listened to Autumn, we all smiled, what the world would be like if we did what made us happy. Wouldn't there be smiles everywhere? Not just a smile that you might be wearing, but one that radiates presence. So I'm going to ask you to do something a little bit different again in the chat box. I'm going to ask you guys, what is it you're going to do this week and give love to that's going to change your life and somebody else's life? What could we do? Could it be saying hello to somebody with a smile? Could it be opening a door for somebody with a smile? Could it be actually singing for somebody? I wanted to sing to you. I've got to be really honest, but I know that every cat and dog in your household would be absolutely howling and hissing and everything else. So I'm not going to do that. But actually, if you can have a little bit of fun with me, what a difference this world will be. So all you do need is a little bit of love to be who you are, to give it to who you love or who you admire, or all those people that might bring frustrations or those issues in life. What a different world it will be. And I know there's another song in there, but I know here it's about the joy and the truth. And I want to make the most of this moment because I want you to close your eyes and think of those things that you're about to do for others and yourself to make this world a better place. And while you've got your eyes closed, I'm going to say our final prayer of today. And let those ideas, thoughts that are marinating your mind and in your heart manifest into reality. Great infinite spirit, as we've been sat with you once more and been inspired by your presence, your presence that's brought memories of love, memories of joy, inspiration, and courage within our hearts to step forward within this life, to be the best people and person that we can be. It is with that joy, with that love, and that need within us to share everything about us, to create that harmony within this world. And we ask for your strength and conviction and your imagination to help us create and blend that love, so it oversees, overpowers, and helps each other be true to who we are. And it's with that thought, we're going to leave within our power to match your Father's power, to bring and manifest those dreams, realities, and love within this world. Amen.
Oh, thank you so much, Phil. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us. Can you feel the love tonight? Can you feel it? Or this morning? Well, that's our closing song. But just a shout out to Kerry and Phil. Thank you, my friends. Autumn, beautiful. Yes, just sprinkle a little autumn in your life, ladies and gentlemen, and just feel good. Go out in nature. Let your light shine. So with that, here is our closing song. Oh, and thank you for participating in our chat box. You can keep on typing as you hear the closing song too. Can you feel the love tonight? Thank you all so very much. We read every single message in the chat box. Kerry, happy birthday. We got another Kerry with us. It's her birthday today. And we appreciate you guys and we love you so very much. Go sign up for next week, wedon'tdie.com. Click on the store button. Join us for a class. You won't regret it. And just a shout out to our donators, people who have made our Sunday gathering possible. Thank you for your donations. All right, I'm going to put all of us on the screen and we can all just smile and wave. Bye, everyone. See you next week.